AVC, John here. Tuesday night, particularly good night actually, because I've just finished work for 10 days and tomorrow we're flying out to the Greek island of Rhodes, so it's our annual holiday, and luckily both the kids, even though they're 21 and 17, still want to come with us. So I'm really looking forward to just a few days. Hired a villa, nice sea view, a few days just chilling out. Hopefully get the opportunity to wander down to a few tavernas in the afternoon, do a bit of sightseeing. So I wanted to make a quick video before I go. Now, you will recall that last week I did a video on an opening of VCLT which Brett sent me, which I was really pleased with how the video came out, and I was really pleased with what was in there. But I had a bit of an exchange, I think previously with Brett, something along the lines of a lot of VC members' videos about, oh, I bought this or I bought that. And what I particularly like about Brett's videos are that he gives information on the music, so you learn a lot from them. And I felt that recently I've been wanting to do that myself, so this is probably the first of those videos, and I wanted to concentrate on a couple of the artists that were included within that box set. The first one being BMovie. Now, I have talked about BMovie before. There is a reason. One of the members lived around the corner from me when I was young, very young actually, and I knew him and his brother quite well, to just, as we were playing out. But also another of the members' sister was in my year at school, and she was in my circle of friends when I was about 18. So that's the first band I want to feature. Now, the two songs that BMovie were very well known for are Nowhere Girl and Remembrance Day, and they were involved in Some Bizarre records, and they were on the first Some Bizarre sampler, and they had associations with Soft Cell and those sort of bands, and they were very, very popular amongst my group of friends whenever we went out. So if one of their singles came on, we would be very interested in that, but they weren't really particularly successful. But they were associated with that early Soft Cell futurist movement, icy synths, very stark production, and I picked up this about January this year actually, which was a reissue of Remembrance Day, Marilyn Dreams and Nowhere Girl. Now, those were recorded in the very early 80s, and this was reissued by Wax Records, and the band, whilst having a really good sort of cult following, weren't able to take off and get those chart hits that you need for commercial success. And there have been a few albums issued. This is called the Dead Good Tapes, and it was issued in '88, I think, on Wax Records, but it was recordings recorded in '80-81. So Man on the Threshold, Refugee, The Soldier Still Alone, Drowning Man soundtrack, Nowhere Girl again. And then there's been another. This is a Cherry Red compilation called BMovie Remembrance Days, The Dead Good Years, which again was referring to, and I think one of the singles might have been issued on the Dead Good label. So, all very interesting, and the sound is very futurist, icy, stark synth, stark production. But they did actually have one stab at the big time, and that was after one of the main members, called Rick Halliday, had left the band, and he wasn't involved in this album, which is the one that Brett sent me. And this is called Forever Running, came out in 1985 on the Sire label. Now, Sire, if you don't know, was an independent label formed in the late 60s, had a distribution deal in the 70s with Warner Brothers, subsequently bought by Warner Brothers. But their biggest artist in the 80s, by a country mile, was Madonna, who was on Sire for a very long time. And this is a major label debut for BMovie, by which time, as I say, Rick Halliday had left, and I'll show you the band members on the back. You've got Steve Hovington there, Paul Statham there, and then a new member who I didn't know called, now what's his name, Martin Winter. This is what Brett sent me, and I seem to recall Brett saying something along the lines of he didn't totally like it when he had this. This might be the one that Brett got, and he might have kindly sent this to me rather than finding a new copy. So I approached it with some trepidation, and it has got re-recordings of Remembrance Day and Nowhere Girl on there. This is a very different sounding album than the early 80s stuff, and I've been trying to put my finger on, since I've been listening for the past week, I've been trying to put my finger on exactly what it sounds like, and the nearest I can come up with is that big mid-80s production like Aha. Now, and it's really unusual to hear Remembrance Day and Nowhere Girl played in that style. But there are some other songs on there, like My Ship of Dreams and Switch On Switch Off, which was a single. And I've actually been really enjoying listening to this. So, unfortunately, it wasn't a success. The singles were a flop, even though they were re-released again. And BMovie went into hibernation. And then, of course, Paul Statham went on to work extensively with Pete Murphy, formerly of Bauhaus. The interesting thing is, Steve Hovington's vocal styling on this is very Pete Murphy for me. So, I think it's a really excellent album. I really enjoyed listening to it. I'm still really grateful Brett sent it to me. But it's quite different from early BMovie. So that was one of the artists I wanted to cover today. The second one, again, was inspired, for want of a better word, by something that Brett sent me, and it's this single by Clarence Clemons called You're a Friend of Mine, from an album called Hero. And I just wanted to briefly dwell upon Clarence Clemons' solo career. Sadly died in 2011, massive loss to the E Street Band, and in fact he was first featured on the cover of Born to Run. And let me just show you this because I want to show you what it looked like back in the day. So here we've got Clarence Clemons. I've joined the band in 75, I think, or slightly earlier than that. So there he is, the big man. Iconic album, Born to Run. I was fortunate to see the whole of the album played at the Rico Arena in Coventry earlier this year. I'd just like to show you this. Here's the big man, played by Cookie Monster, on Sesame Street, Born to Add, sent to me by Mark Mivertube there. So, the big man, an integral part of the E Street Band for many, many years, and he started his solo career in the early 80s, and he came out with this album called Clarence Clemons and the Redback Rockers Rescue. How would you describe this? Very much soul, with John J.T. Bowen on vocals, because the big man hadn't got the confidence to sing himself on Rescue. There's a track on there called Saving Up, written by Bruce Springsteen. And when this came out, I had it on tape to start with, and then I've had it on CD, and then I finally bought it on vinyl a couple of 3 years ago when I spotted it at a fair. But it's very R&B of the time, soul. It's a great album, I really like it. And then went quiet for a few years. Then in '88 this came out, which again you'll see, this is Hero, and this was the big man's, both albums on CBS, so obviously he was getting a bit of kudos from his association with the boss. But this was a joint album produced by Narada Michael Walden, or is it Narada? Yeah, Narada Michael Walden. You're a Friend of Mine. This single is a duet with Jackson Browne. but a lot of the singing was done by the big man. It is very commercial. Again, it's very mid-80s, same production sound that you might hear on the BMovie album Forever Running, but wasn't successful again, unfortunately. His final stab with CBS was with this album, A Night with Mr. C, and I think this is from, I can't quite read the year it's from. I'll put it below the, but I think it's early 90s. Anyway, a few covers, 2:45. My favourite song on there is Tonight You're Mine Baby. There's another cover, Twisting the Night Away. It's pretty much mainstream. It's not great. I actually bought this copy for $10 last year when we were in America, from Rock and Roll Heaven in Orlando, Florida, and I think there's a picture on my Facebook page of me holding this outside, but I've had it on CD for years and years, and so that was probably the most similar to Hero. His final solo album, again, I can't remember what year, and I've not got my glasses on, so I can't read you the date on the bike, on account of being a bit short-sighted, was called Peacemaker, and this is an instrumental album, very ambient, very moody album, very low-key, sort of chill-out music, if you like. So 4 solo albums, 3 very different genres. I like all of them, to be honest. If I had to choose a favourite, it'd probably go for Clarence Clemons and the Red Bank Rockers. But hopefully you may find that of interest, VC. I'm going away on holiday. Hope it's going to be pretty hot. I believe that it is, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Take care.